Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. Thanks for joining us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Pain in the teeth or gums could send us running to the dentist. But are we attentive enough to realize when children need this attention? Oral diseases, while largely preventable, pose a major health burden for many countries and affect people of all ages throughout their lifetime, causing pain, discomfort, disfigurement, and, according to the World Health Organization, even death. According to estimates, almost 3.5 billion people are affected with oral diseases. Tooth decay or dental caries of the primary teeth affects 514 million children worldwide. My guest today is a consultant Paedodontist, or these days we call them pediatric dentists, at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital and a lecturer at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Dr. Dipo Ayedun. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Can we first identify the range of people we are talking about? When we talk about early childhood caries, what age are we looking at?
Okay, thank you. So in pediatric dentistry, thank you for having me, just like I said earlier on. So when we look at the age of, we say in our pediatric unit, we look at from 0 to 18 years.
18 years?
18. So for some, we look at 16. We say children. So, if you look at medically 16, but if you look at maybe constitutionally, 18. So from there, once they are older than that, then they can, go into an adult clinic. So in pediatric dentistry, so we look at 0 to 16 or 18.
Okay. So if someone is 16 and has caries, you call it early childhood caries?
Okay. So now, when we are looking at early childhood caries, it's a definition, especially for children less than 72 years, 72 months. That's less than 6.
Okay.
So yes. So in pediatric dentistry, we attend to children. So, but we expect children less than 6 years not to have dental caries in their teeth. So when we see cavities in these, young children, is a major concern, worldwide, for us in dental world, especially in pediatric dentistry.
But WHO says they are common.
Yes. So, and that's why special attention is now given to that age group. So that, because we don't expect them, ideally, children that young should not come down with cavity. So, but we now notice that when they do come down with cavity, coupled with their age range, they, portend big, problems, to them. And just like, why, let me explain when we talk of big problem taking care of them. Imagine we adults, when we go and see dentists, there's something we call fear, dental phobia, for us. So when we are seeing children, so we need to manage a lot of anxiety,
so you
for
give
children.
them pink seats, yellow lights, blue cups. You color everything.
Yes. But, now imagine a child that is less than 6. So, the cooperation, the understanding of what you are doing is, will be a problem. We have a challenge with children, 7, 8, 9, for us to be able to manage them. So when we have these children less than 6 years, so it's a major, problem. So there's that classification. So when we talk of early childhood caries, so we are talking in specific about these children 6 and under. So,
but I'm even thinking, how many parents actually bring those children to you? I've heard people say, he doesn't have a problem, he's a child.
Okay, thank you. So that's why we encourage, the holistic, care to our children. We encourage that every child should see a dentist, from when they start erupting their first tooth. That's by 6 months. There's a popular saying that believes that, prevention is better and cheaper than cure. So we don't need to come down with problems before we start seeing dentists. So it's recommended that from 6 months
you bring
to 1
your
year,
child to the
every
dentist.
person, every child should see the dentist, so that we don't wait until the problem is there before we start attending.
I think maybe if you do a survey of how many mothers actually brought their children to a dentist at the age of 6 months or even 7, we will fail woefully.
Yes. So most of our study is just hospital-based, but you are very correct. So, and that's why maybe I should also, this week we have World Oral Health Day. That's why every year, so there's a day dedicated to, oral health, March 20, and I may just, why that 20 is important is that because children, they have 20 teeth. So that's why 20. Then that March, adults have 32 teeth. So the three, you understand, is for March. So that's why world over, we talk of advocacy, we talk, about awareness for dental care. So coming back to children, so we want them, at least everybody, the child does not need to have any pain, but from 6 months to 1 year, at least everybody should visit a dentist so that we can start preventive care.
Okay, so let me ask you, before a child is 6 months, before you go to see the dentist, what should the mother be doing with his mouth?
Okay, so we start with that 6 months because we expect the first tooth, to erupt at 6 months. But before, that time, we encourage the mothers, to clean the mouth. After taking breastfeeding, so, clean the mouth of the mother. So, also
of the baby,
sorry.
With what?
So sometimes you understand, clean cotton wool that is commonly, available, and water is fine, just to wipe, the mouth. There's no teeth there. So once we don't have any, teeth or tooth in the mouth, we don't expect any cavity. But sometimes also in our preventive care, because we know that the genesis of this problem, even could start with during pregnancy. So sometimes we go to antenatal clinic, because we know that mothers that have a lot of cavities, or they have cavities, they tend to have children, that come with cavity. So yes.
What's the connection?
So so when we look at, what causes this early childhood caries, we have, 4 major factors, the tooth must be there. That's why I said before 6 months, when there is no tooth, so we don't expect any caries, then we have microorganisms. So in our mouth, the number of microorganisms we have in the mouth is more than the number of people in the world, all of us. So then we now talk of diet, sugary food is there. So now the connection between mothers with cavity and children is, so most time, the mothers, you understand, mother's father, we have this microorganism there. So there is, they could pass it to the children. And that is why one of the risk factors for early childhood caries is, mother to child, connection.
Particular microorganisms cause the caries.
Caries, yes. So
and the mother could transfer them from her mouth to the child.
To the mouth, yes. So that's why we discourage against, kissing, children. That's what we call vertical transmission.
Can't you just take care of the microorganisms in the mother's mouth?
Yes, like I told you, you understand, the microorganism we call this, Streptococcus mutans is, very, implicated in the causative, the causing the dental care, the decay. All of us, we have it in the mouth. So it's not something that all over the world we can wipe it off, but we can put, preventive measures in place so that, children don't come down with, caries. So when mothers have a poor oral hygiene, so that's why the oral hygiene of the mother is also very key. So if the mother doesn't know, she neglects her mouth. So taking care of the kids' oral hygiene could also be, poor. So when we look at the main, factors that, cause this problem. So we also have some we call risk factors, you understand? Even for medical conditions, the mother education and socioeconomic, factor, the exposure of the mother is also a key factor, to it. So coming back to your question, before 6 months, so sometimes we go to antenatal clinic, you understand, enlighten, the mother, say about the oral health and the care.
So that her child can have a healthy mouth.
Yes, that's true.
But mothers don't just kiss. There are some other things they do, They taste the food before putting it into the child's mouth. Sometimes they chew the food.
It's true. So we discourage against, all those, because any action that could, bring about contamination of the mother's, saliva. Our mothers, when we were young, sometimes, we used to use feeding bottle. They want to check if it is hot, put it,
and they put it in their mouth.
In their mouth and put it in the baby's mouth. So, that could cause transmission, in that, you understand. So sometimes you're feeding a baby with a small, cup and spoon. You want to see if it is hot, or you taste it, put it in your mouth and put it in. So, that could cause, transmission. So we discourage, against that. And then for children, early childhood caries is, sometimes we use pacifiers. And, when we also talk a lot about exclusive breastfeeding.
That's right.
So sometimes some mothers, we also discourage that, you understand. They just use the breastfeeding as a pacifier. When we are young, you understand.
So keeping it in there. Indefinitely.
Yes, so we discourage against that. So because, you understand, so the baby is not hungry, so you start damming, the breast milk in the mouth. It's not, going in, just because it's not hungry. If the baby is hungry, swallow. So you just dam it, a lot of sugary stuff, a lot of action will be coming in, so it could cause, the cavity.
So sugar is a culprit.
Yes. Here. So then also you understand. So when we talk of diet, so sugary, food, especially by the time children start taking snack. And school, all our kids, they go to school with snack, with biscuit. So that's why one of the preventive measures is just also that we look at they should also have a fruit day, so that it's not all the time they take refined sugar, biscuit, Capri-Sun, all those, they are good, but excessive, you understand, because in the etiology of this early childhood caries, we know diet, and especially sugary diet, is also implicated.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it not true that if a person eats, you're just asked to clean your mouth to avoid caries? So what's the difference? I mean, fruits have sugar too. If you eat fruits and you don't wash them out, isn't it as bad as taking a sugary thing and not washing them out?
Okay, so when we talk of sugar that causes, cariogenic, so, fruits are not included. So we talk of refined, sugar.
Refined sugar.
So for fruits, we have natural, sugar, there. So, and that's why we encourage, people taking fruits. So it's fine. So, but once these children, even we adults, when we take any things that are sugary, and that's why, one of their recommendations is also you brush twice daily. So you brush in the morning, brush at night. And for early childhood caries also, why brushing at night is also very key, is that, saliva has a protective effect. What does that mean? Once we are awake, the saliva, keep on running, keep on cleaning. So when we sleep, we don't have a lot of...
It dries out a bit.
Yes. So, but if you brush before you sleep, at least you can, reduce the sugar content and, all the debris in the mouth. So it's also preventive.
Okay, we'll need to take a break and then come back. I can't believe the time is running this fast, and continue where we stopped from. Please stay with us. We'll take a break right now and join us at the other side. Welcome back. It's Health Matters on Channels Television, and we're talking about early dental caries. Caries that your children can have 6 years and under. You can call 0808-054-2233 if you have a question. You can tweet at CTV_Mary A, or send email to moalale at channelstv.com. We're in the house with Dr. Dipo Ayedun, and I'm posing some questions to him. Children 6 and under have what we've always called milk teeth. They're temporary. So are they not going to lose all those teeth and then we'll be free of all this trouble?
Okay. Now, a lot of people, they wonder, and there are studies, all over the world, especially in the UK, they wonder, why do we need to preserve children's teeth? So if those teeth, come down with caries, why do we need to bother ourselves, to treat? But we need to know that children's teeth are important. One, aesthetics. Now, for most of us, we are building up strong middle class, So you want your children to look well, so you don't want them to lose their teeth. Not only that, you want the teeth to look beautiful. Then 2, speech, phonetics. There are words that these children, less than 6, they need their teeth to pronounce those words. So we must make sure, we retain the teeth. Number 3, mastication. So when children lose their teeth,
they can't chew.
And then that also, leads to a lot of medical, problems. Sometimes, we talk of malnutrition. A child that can't feed well, can be malnourished. And not only that, now we are talking, now about what we call quality of life. You understand? So these children, go to school, they get teased, they get bullied. So that's why it's important.
Over their teeth?
Yes, you get, it's children. Sometimes you don't, even adults, you don't have front teeth. You don't, if you're a public, figure, and there's a problem with your teeth, you don't want to come in. So children, the same thing, they will be teased at school. So that's why we in pediatric dentistry, we do everything to make sure that we retain people's teeth. And, as parents, we must also make sure that our children with primary teeth, they retain their teeth.
I was looking at prevalences, and it seems to be a bit less in Africa. Is there a reason for that?
Okay, sometimes in Africa, when we do studies, sometimes we do hospital-based studies, but, the explanation for that, could be, if you look at, Africa, we look at our socioeconomic, status, for most people. So I told you, one of the causative agent, causes of these caries is refined sugar. So the explanation is that a lot of, families and people that stay in the rural area, not in the city, so may not have access to refined, sugar. That's one. Then 2, our prevalences could also be, we've not been able to do national study. So sometimes most of our study are just city-based.
Back to that thing of data.
Yes, data. So cities, hospital. So those, are just could be what contribute to what the prevalence that we have.
Okay, so are some children more prone to caries because of genetics rather than their mother's habit or their habits,
Okay, so when we look at, risk, factors, so most of what we've recorded, environmental, genetics, is an involving, stuff. And I believe that will be the, future trend. There are people, already looking at that. But as today, the information and data we have, apart from the major, causative factors, the tooth, the diet, and time, then the risk factors, we look at, the microorganism, environmental factor, you understand? So what that means also is that when we look at environmental, factor, sometimes we'll also look at exposure to fluoride. You understand, the fluoride in the water, you understand. But the good thing, with most of us that stay in the city is that we take fluoridated toothpaste. So that one, you understand, is a major, supply. So for genetics, I guess, it's a trend that at least, the studies are still ongoing.
When should you start using a toothbrush on a child?
A child should start, as a parent, immediately the first tooth, erupts.
You can start brushing that one.
Yes. So then, you understand, we also look at the quantity of the toothpaste.
Okay.
So if a child is young, he can't spit out. So so you just put a smear there. Just smear, you understand? Because, I told you toothpaste contains fluoride.
That's
Fluoride
right.
is beneficial. It strengthens the teeth.
But it shouldn't be swallowed.
Yeah. So if a child hasn't grown to the level whereby it can expectorate, it can, spit out, there is tendency to swallow. So you put a smell. So as the child gets older, 3, 4, you put a pea size. So by the time they get to 6, 7, 8, whereby they can now spit out and then brush themselves, then, they can now have, their full toothpaste on their brush.
So let's assume a child is 2. He has dental caries. Will he be in pain?
Okay. So caries, dental caries, the cavity, have so many presentations. So one, we start with white teeth discoloration of the tooth. Most parents will not say. Yeah. Then after that, the tooth becomes cavitated. So there is a hole on the tooth. So if you say front teeth becomes obvious, aesthetics, it could be dark, parents will say. But most time the molars, so food start, getting packed there. Patient, the child start avoiding eating with that side. So there may not be pain. And that's why, that early presentation to the clinic is so key. It's so important. So, but if nothing is done, then the child comes down with pain. So the pain start with when the child put food there, they'll move it to the other side. You understand?
And if you're observant, you should
know. They will start complaining. You understand? So then there are some food the child will not want to eat. Food that can, get stuck into the cavity. So that one is what we call stimulated pain. So after some time, the pain becomes spontaneous. The child is not eating. Is having pain. So the parent needs to know, but you don't need to wait to that. So after some time, if nothing is done, the pain disturbs the child's sleep. So the child cannot sleep. So every parent will take the child to the hospital. And if you understand, if nothing is done, the child comes out with an abscess, with swelling of the face. So you shouldn't get to that state. That's why we preach prevention.
Okay, prevention is all well and good and everything, but some children are already in this condition.
Yes.
Do you treat them like adults? Pull their teeth, fill their teeth, wash and polish their teeth, all those things?
Yes, we do. That's why, in pediatric dentistry, so it's an aspect of dentistry that is dedicated to the care of children. So when we see them, like I told you, we don't like to remove, teeth because of those functions, of teeth. So the tooth can be filled, it can be treated. If it is badly broken down, the tooth, will also be removed. But the special key with pediatric dentistry is because, you need to manage a child's anxiety.
Yes.
Yes, a child is not an adult. So as you are managing the dental condition, you must also manage, the anxiety. And that's why we need in the clinic, for us pediatric dentists, we modify the behavior. And why is that also very important? So that the child can have a very positive dental experience. So if they come to the clinic, they have a very negative experience, you need to, tie them down, remove the child, is crying, everybody is
terrible.
So for that child to come back to the clinic is a problem. And that's why that unit is dedicated for the care of children. So we make sure that their treatment is smooth and that experience is very good.
Okay, can you get this for me in just a few seconds?
Okay.
What do you think about battery-operated toothbrushes?
They are fine. So they are fine. You understand? We recommend that, especially children. You understand? It's fun, for children. But at least to brush their teeth.
And it does the job.
It does the job. So, but you understand, and especially also for children of special needs population, whereby manual dexterity is a problem.
Yeah.
So it's good, but at least every child should, because we also have brushing techniques, so should be taught the appropriate brushing technique. But battery operated brush, fantastic.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That was so good. And so much packed into a small space of time.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you here.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for being with us also. We hope you take care of your children's teeth from here on. Have a wonderful day. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.